Hello, Mr. John. This is Louie, one of your online students in your Communication 100 class. I hope to do a good job in explaining to you who I am and how I came to be the person that I am today. Two of the biggest things that has changed the way I think about myself is probably both losing my mother and meeting my wife of 17 years, Chiquita. My journey has been a pretty good book, one of much travel and lessons learned. But through these trials, I found myself being raised a poor black kid in Abbeville, Oklahoma, where there was about 7,000 people or so, and the demographics was roughly about 7% African American. My mother did everything she could to raise both me and my twin to be stand-up men and positive and productive in the community. We stayed in trouble a lot though, and never really made her happy. But you know, that was the element, or that was the culture that we lived in. You know, a lot of poverty existed in our hometown as well. After high school, I joined the Army, did 2 years, and returned home. My mother was not happy with this at all. In 1997, I met my now wife and later, 2 years later, my mom died. I lost my biggest supporter in my mother, but I gained my biggest supporter in Chiquita. She's taught me two of the most important values of marriage, and that's communication and trust. Through these two things, I think anything is possible. In terms of being a responsible young man, and the young man that my mother wanted me to be, I think just, you know, getting married and vowing to love and cherish my wife for all the days of my life proved that I was trying to be responsible. I prayed to my mother in heaven that I would be the person she wanted me to be, and that was just to, you know, take care of my responsibilities. I remember being a newlywed, and this was tough for me, you know, with the communication concept, because I never saw that type of emotion displayed in my home, you know. And but through God, in the grace of God, we made it work. I learned to do the simple things like listening to my wife, you know. And again, this was hard because I never saw it, but I think a couple marriage retreats that the Navy offered has helped me in my marriage as well. My wife and I enjoy hanging out together, you know, hanging out with our girls. We hang out with friends too on the military base. We play bingo every other Thursday or so, and while we're competing in winning games, we're also building a lifetime camaraderie with these folks here at the installation. We feel a great sense of community. We love being out there in the community helping, because we think that doing that makes us who we are, and that's just trying to be a better people, you know, while we're stationed here in the Navy. I'm thankful to my family, and most of all to my wife, who I believe has helped me become who I am today. I've not always felt like this though, because you know, growing up, I really didn't have that support system that I got now. Since I've taken Christian worldview here also at GCU, and some of the things that are responsible for me having my belief that this world is a great place, but it, you know, sometimes can be cruel. I think if you believe in God and trust that He sent His only Son as a ransom for our sins, that you're doing the right thing. I'm currently a successful sailor in the United States Navy, and this is the end of my presentation.